Hey everybody, it's Patrick Fransko. I'm coming to you from my car again today to answer the next in our Ask iMagnet series for Watch Their Eyes podcast. Trying to stay caught up with these questions coming in, and it seems like the only time I have a couple moments is in my car, so I'm going to try to do this. I apologize if the audio isn't as good as it could be, but this question came in on Instagram, and it was asking how to utilize social media to increase business-to-business revenue. And there's a couple nuances, so I wanted to real quick break this up into two segments. One, if the product or service you're selling is a high ticket item and it typically would go out to proposal, it go through multiple rounds of bids, things of that nature, I'm going to suggest that you implement a strategy, predominantly I would say maybe on LinkedIn, where you try to become a thought leader in your industry. And you do that by producing content in and around the products or services that you offer and publishing that on your LinkedIn account. I would be active in groups within your industry that are the typical people you would sell to or people in and around your industry. Once I created that content and published it, I would share it to those groups, not in a salesy, hey, buy from me way, but just in a sharing good, solid information with people. And I think if you do that consistently, you're going to become a voice in the industry that people recognize, and it's a thought leader. That's going to put you in a unique position to be able to close on some of these sales and have people request you to give quotations on products that are in the field that you offer. I don't think that you need to go into those pieces of content being too salesy, saying, hey, at the end of it, buy from me. I think people are pretty savvy, specifically in the business-to-business world, with regard to LinkedIn. They're going to figure out who you are. If you're producing good content, they're going to figure out who you are. And if you have a product or service, or if your expertise can help them, they're going to probably reach out to you. So that would be my number one suggestion. The other would just be being active in the groups, looking for opportunities to answer a question, to put a comment in about something that maybe you can add some flavor or some expertise to the conversation. I think that's also going to get you noticed. I think you can also promote content on LinkedIn and specifically choose people that are in buying positions for your product or service, and that's where you might want to put more content that are, a piece of content that's more talking about, hey, this product or service, and putting it in front of the right eyes. So that's the strategy I would probably pursue in business to business for high ticket items. I think if it's a lower ticket item and they're typically able to make a decision relatively quickly, maybe without multiple bids, things like that, I think that strategy I just laid out would still be relevant. But I think you also can play in the Facebook, Instagram world as well. Again, my advice is going to be similar. Find out what groups are in and around your industry, products and services you offer. Be involved in those groups. I would produce content and share that in those groups. And then you can also do some Facebook and Instagram marketing and choose people based on professions and things like that and put that content in front of them. So as far as business to business, I think it's a little bit different than B2C because a lot of times those decisions aren't made like an impulse buy. Like if somebody's selling, a restaurant is trying to encourage people to come in Friday night, that's much more transactional. That's much more a Facebook, Instagram play, and much more somebody can make a decision that day that I'm going to dinner at this restaurant that night. Business to business, a lot of times there's some thinking about it, things like that. So you got to think a little bit longer term. You got to start putting in the work. You got to create the content. You got to put it in front of the right people. And long term, that's going to pay big dividends in the quotes that you're invited to be a part of and the business that you land. I mean, if you're putting out good content. But my caution would be, do not come on strong in those pieces of content. Do not make it a brochure for your company. Make it good quality information to show that you're a thought leader in that segment. If people are interested in the product and service you offer, believe me that they will seek you out. You don't have to go for the close in every one of those pieces, I think that actually turns people off and makes them feel like they just read an advertisement instead of a good piece of educational content. So I hope that helps. Again, it's not a it's not a quick fix. It's not a silver bullet like, hey, do this and things are going to change tomorrow. You got to put in the work, especially in a business-to-business environment. You have to put in the work, create the content, put it in front of the right people, and I think that's going to pay long-term dividends for not only the person that's creating the content, the company they represent, but it's not going to be something that happens overnight. But I hope that helps. We've got a bunch of other questions, so you're probably going to be seeing more of these episodes in the coming days because I want to keep up. If people are asking questions, I want to make sure we're getting to them. But hopefully that helps you, and good luck with everything. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and we'll get to them. Thanks.